Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Newmark. I'm the Administrative Law Judge with the PSC. So I'll be running the hearing today, the City of Stanley's water rate case application hearing. Welcome, a bunch of you here already joined us, so thank you for connecting early. We will get started at 2 p.m. and so just sit tight until then. How the process works is we'll go through collecting evidence first from the utility, then commission staff, and then taking public comments. And we do have a number of comments already filed. I think there's 15 in all from the public, written comments. So those we'll accept those for the record, and we'll take whatever we can get here live today, as well as ones that are filed by the deadline. And we'll go through all that once we get started. But I want to let you know we're live streaming, so you're on YouTube right now, and that live stream will turn into a recording as well. So that'll be on our YouTube channel for hearings. So we'll just sit tight until 2. We'll get started at that time. So just thanks for your patience, and yeah, we'll just wait until we get started. Thanks. So the people who just joined us, we'll be starting at 2 p.m. And the way we run these hearings, we'll take the utility, we'll go first, then commission staff, and then public comments at the end. So just sit tight. We'll get started at 2. Thanks. All right, let a few more people in. So I just want to review before we get started. We'll be starting at 2 p.m. We're live streaming on YouTube, and we'll be taking public comments at the end of the hearing. So I know we have quite a number of people here from the public, so appreciate everyone joining and being willing to participate. I would like to get, at this point, the utility and commission staff to turn their screens on, their cameras on, so we can see them. And as we get to the public, when it's your turn to speak, I'll ask you to turn your camera on if you have one. For the people with phones, phone connections, obviously that's not going to happen, but we'll like to see the people when they're speaking. So. So I see Nicole, you're with the utility. Anyone else with the utility? Corey? Is that it for now? And there's Alex from commission staff. We should be getting one more person from staff joining us. All right. Just a few more seconds to go. All right, I think my bell went off here, so it's time to get started. We'll be letting people in as they come. Just sorry if I get interrupted here, just trying to let people in as soon as I can. But let's get started. We're on the record here. We have YouTube going and the recording is on, so it looks like all the systems are go. This is Docket 5670 WR104, the City of Stanley's application for authority to adjust water rates. My name is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. What we're doing here today is creating the record in the case. That'll be the documents we identify and verify under oath, as well as comments we receive from the utility, their consultant, commission staff, and members of the public. So like I said, we're live streaming, and that recording will also be part of the record. And what we do with the record is we provide it to the decision maker in the case. In this case, it's Andy Galvin, let me make sure, the Division Administrator for the Division of Water Utility Regulation and Analysis. So the administrator will review the record and make a decision, and then a written order will issue. It'll be emailed to the utility and posted on the Commission's website. So in addition to taking comments here from the public, we'll do that at the end, and we're also receiving written comments from the public, and those are due on Thursday, January 22nd. We need to get them at the commission by that date. We've been that comment period's been open since December 15th, and there's two ways to send the comment: either through the commission's website, we have a link to a web page, or by U.S. mail. So I just probably advise you to get your comment on time at this point to use the link, and that's displayed here on the notice of hearing document, which is on our now on the live stream on the screen share, and will be part of the recording as well. So there'll be a way to get to that. There's also instructions on how to get to this link were also on the notice that the utility issued to customers. So on the next page of the notice, just wanted to point out the link to our YouTube channel. That's where we're live streaming now and where the recording will be. And also the link to our documents in the case. So that'll be when we issue the final decision. That'll be you'll be able to find it on by using this link. So it's through our case management system on our website. So that's kind of the initial items to discuss. Oh, there we go. Our commission staff person's joining us now. Let them in. There we go. One more person. Great. So just so you know, I think the way I have people sorted on this list now is in the order that they came into the case, if I did it right. So hopefully when we start asking for public comments, I'll go down the list and it'll be the people who joined us first to the people who joined us last. That's except for the phone people. I think they're at the bottom. That's weird. Okay, well, we'll work that out. So anyway, let's get started with making the record here. We have a list of documents that the utility filed. Was provided to me by commission staff. So I'm just going to change the screen share to show us that list and continue to let people into the case here. Just a minute. All right, so we do have utility documents, utility exhibits, and we've numbered them for this list 1 through 59. So we'll need to verify those documents and get them into the record. So who do we have who can do that for the utility? Anyone speaking for the utility on this? Okay.
I can verify that those are the documents that we've submitted for the record.
All right, great. So let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yeah, go ahead and answer.
Yes.
Yes?
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, and give us your name and title, please.
My name is Corey Horton. I am the office manager and municipal team leader for Ruckert and Milky. We are the consultant on behalf of the city of Stanley.
All right, great. Can you see the screen share?
Yes.
So I have documents we've labeled 1 through 59. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Are they complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, so I can accept those documents for the record. Any comments you'd like the decision maker to know?
Nothing aside from what was offered for the record.
Okay. And does anyone else who's connected with the utility, representing the utility, wish to speak and let the decision maker know anything about the case? Nothing? Okay. I know that there's quite a number of people here, and I think we should just have, for their benefit, just a brief review of what is driving the increase in rates for the case. I know we did have there is a description of that in our notice of proceeding, which went back quite a bit in time, and it may not be as clear to everyone as we'd like, depending on their background and you know, familiarity with our process. So if there's something, we just get a brief overview of what the drivers of the cost increase are from the utility. Let's do that now.
Sure, I can handle that, Michael.
Okay, go ahead.
So the city has not updated their rates since 2017. So that's one of the drivers. Since 2017, the utility has seen significant increases in the operating expenses that are necessary to run the utility. In addition, there's also been some major capital expenditures that have needed to occur to keep the utility functioning as well. There's been some major projects for ozone and SCADA upgrades, the central water treatment plant upgrade, the well 3 update. And like I mentioned before, ultimately the rates haven't increased from 2017. So in order to kind of cover the costs that the utility is seeing currently, the rates need to be updated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I know the Public Service Commission does, so just for everyone's information, we regulate the rates that utilities charge. We don't regulate the water quality. That's the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources regulates water quality. So I know a number of comments did mention the water quality being poor. I think they, you know, in the opinion of the commenter, the brown color, I think, was mentioned a number of times. And I was just curious, Corey, if there's any relationship to water quality and the projects that were that are included in the cost recovery for this case?
I guess my firm isn't directly engaged in kind of those projects, so I don't know if Nicole could provide an update on the status of those projects, but I would assume yes, but I'll let her answer those.
Okay. Nicole, so let me swear you in, Nicole. Raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And just state your name and title, please.
Nicole Pilgrim, City Administrator, Clerk, Treasurer.
Okay, so you could just enlighten us about what the projects were for.
It's basically to get the central plant caught up to, today's day and age. It is an extremely old plant. It hasn't been updated to where it should be, and that's the major cause of all the brown water. They have been working a lot. There's been a lot of construction going on around, and a lot of this for the SCADA and the ozone. Ozone was for the Northwest plant. That was for other reasons because it's been outdated. But SCADA was so that both plants could talk to each other, and that was part of the problem as to why it wasn't triggering when it was supposed to for the backwashes.
Okay. So, we'll leave it at that for now and see what questions we get. So anything else? Does anyone else from the utility want to add anything? No, nothing? All right. So we'll move on to commission staff, and I'm just going to display the commission staff exhibits on the screen share here. So we have revenue requirement, we have a revised version of that exhibit. I think Kathleen Bootsloff from commission staff will verify that, so let me swear you in. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. And you're familiar with the revenue requirement revised exhibit?
Yes, I am.
Is it complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
And do you have any comments?
I have one comment at this time.
Okay.
During our review, we found two small adjustments for accounting purposes that needed to be corrected. And the utility made those revisions and filed an amended 2024 PSC annual report on September 8th, 2025. So those two items have been concluded.
All right, thanks. So I just wanted to mention, I think looking at the notice of proceeding, Kathleen, there was looked like staff did identify an error in the original application with a pretty significant adjustment. Can you just describe that a little bit for people in attendance?
I probably should open up the notice before I comment on that.
All right. So that was the paragraph starting in response to data requests.
Okay. Yes, when the utility filed the application, it filed the request as a two-step rate increase, where the first step of the rate increase, if it is approved, would take place shortly after a final decision is issued, and that would not include the treatment plant project. And then a second step of the rate case would take place after the utility notifies the commission that the treatment plant work is done and in service. And when the utility filled out the application, it included about $7 million worth of costs related to the treatment plant in both step 1 and step 2. So it basically double counted those costs and came up with a larger rate increase than it intended to request. So that's why the utility requested in the first paragraph, the first large paragraph, the applicant requested an overall increase of 131.29%. That overstated the applicant's request by a little bit. We weren't sure by quite how much until we finished our review, but we wanted to point that out to customers who might read this notice, that although it would likely be proposed as a large rate increase, it would hopefully not be as much as 131%.
Okay, and the estimate at this point, it's about a 91%?
That was the estimate back in June,
Okay.
based on just correcting that error where the $7 million was listed twice. After I completed my portion of the review and issued my exhibit, it's the one dated September 4th. I split it into two increases, and when the second increase would be implemented, the proposed increase would be 103%.
Okay. So that's taking both steps together.
Right. So it would be approximately 45% in step one, and then the remaining 50 to 60% for a total increase of 103% in step two.
Okay.
I believe those percentages are listed in Alex's exhibit as
Okay.
well as the schedules attached to my exhibit.
Great. All right, great, thanks. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to cost, service study, and rate design with Alex Hanna. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. And as far as the cost, service study, and rate design exhibit goes, are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Is it complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I have no comments at this time.
All right, thanks. All right, so now we can take public comments, and we have a significant number of people who've joined us and continue to join us. Just trying to check here. It's not ordering us in the way I wanted, so apologize for that. See, I tried to have it order the people on the participant list in the order that they've shown up, but I think it's just kind of doing it in its own way. So, well, hopefully everyone wants to hear what everyone else wants to say, so just stick around. We'll just go through the list and give everyone a chance to speak if they wish to. And we can start sort of alphabetic. Well, it's not. I don't know what the order this is, but let's start with the alderman, Aaron Dixon. And I'll do the same thing we've done in the past. I'll swear you in and get your name. I see you there, so I'm just going to spotlight you for everyone and turn off the screen share. I think we really need that right now. We can always bring it back. Okay, great. Well, I see you there. I'm going to swear you in. Raise your right hand.
Yep.
You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, so give us your name and go ahead with your comment.
I mean, as it says on the screen, Alderman Aaron Dixon. I don't really have any particular comment, but I want to be present to listen to what the public has to say.
Sure, fair enough. Appreciate you coming. So just let me know at the end if you do want to make a statement. I'll kind of do a wraparound and just say, anyone else want to speak who hasn't had a chance. So just let me know. Okay, so move on to Jay Stevich. Getting that right?
No,
Yeah,
it's just
Did you want to
Julia
comment?
Savage. I just wanted to listen in to see
Just
what you
listen
guys had
in?
to say
Okay.
about the water upgrade because I do live in Stanley and I'm very concerned how the prices are going to increase, and there's a lot of people that don't make a lot of money, and maybe those people will look at these price increases and they're concerned. They have their bills that they have to pay just like everyone else. So
Yeah.
I hope
Oh.
that that this water increase is not too high.
Okay, great. Well, that's a comment.
And
So
it's thought very well. Mhm.
that's great. So that's pretty
Right.
much a comment. So I'm just going to ask you to swear in real quick and just ask you to verify what you just said. So raise your right
okay.
hand. Do you swear or
Yeah.
affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And was your last statement
Yes.
true and correct?
Savage, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. I know I kind of just messed that up. That's fine. We're good. All right. So, yeah. So if you just let me know yes or no if you want to make a comment, then we'll move on. Either I'll take your comment or we'll pass on to the next person. So, about the person connected with the letter A, just A. Did you want to comment? No. How about I'm just going to change your name a little. Let me know you did comment here. Let's see. A had no comment. How about B, both there? Nothing. Ben's iPhone. Ben's iPhone's a no. How about Beth Bowie, Boie? Oh, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I just, hi, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So,
Hi.
would you like to comment?
Yes, I would.
All right, excellent. Raise your right hand. Will you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your name and comment, please.
Beth Bowie, and I was just questioning the extra fee that we're having for the fire. You know, we were talking about the water here, but there's also the fee that the council is adding to the fire structure, or I can't think of the name of it, but I was curious as to why that was also increasing. If that is just for fire hydrants and not necessarily the water quality, why is that increasing?
Yeah, I think you're mentioning the charge for public fire protection.
Yes,
So
that's it.
That's a service that municipalities, they provide the water infrastructure that's required to meet demand for providing fire protection is included in those costs, and the municipality has a choice to either charge that through the property taxes or through the rates. So at some point and they can split that up between the two as well, but it's a municipal decision. So then whatever percentage the municipality chooses to use, that's what the commission then implements when it recovers those costs in rates. So that's what you're seeing when you're looking at changes. And there could be overall cost increases, but the change in the ratio between property taxes and rate recovery is something that the municipality decides, and the commission then puts forth in the rates according to that municipal decision. Did anyone else want to address that from the utility or commission staff? Did I get that right?
Judge Newmark, this is Alex from commission staff.
Let me get you on the screen here.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Alex.
So what you said was correct about the methodology for public fire protection. Stanley Municipal Water Works, 100% of the total PFP costs is collected through water bills. So that is common in Wisconsin, to have a portion or all of the PFP costs on the water bill. So yes, that portion of this rate case is also increasing, but it's part of the overall increase that Kathy from commission staff discussed earlier.
Is the increase then part changing that ratio, or is it just increasing the costs for public fire protection?
Well, Stanley already had it 100% direct charges, so yep.
Okay.
There's no portion going to property or municipal charge.
All right, great, thanks. Okay, well, I hope that explains the issue there.
Yeah, I did have another
Okay.
question. I'm
Sure,
just
go ahead.
wondering if the commission helps at all or has any information in regards to monies out there for municipalities, grants or anything like that to help Stanley with this, since this seems to have gone on for 50 years and now we have to have a new plant, but yet this was not supposedly budgeted for the last 50 years for repairs and improvements. And now we're going to be hit with this. So I didn't know if there's any type of funding or anything that the commission is privy to know that we could apply for.
Well, I know that this part of the cost that's being recovered here is debt service, so there is and so the utility has incurred debt to apply to the building these projects, and then a lot of that debt's usually through programs that are very low interest, state-sponsored programs and federal programs that make the cost very low because it's a municipal utility. But maybe the utility wants to address that a little more specifically to its situation.
We let our engineers take care of finding the funding. They said there wasn't any grants available. They were doing what they could for forgiveness on the Clean Water Fund, I believe, and Safe Drinking Water loans.
Okay, so the projects aren't funded through those programs?
They are,
They
but
are,
those are
okay.
all loans. We have some principal forgiveness, but it doesn't cover much of it.
Right. But the interest rate's pretty low, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least you're saving, you're not, incurring debt off a private market and paying a lot more that way. Okay. All right, so let's move on.
Could I add something, Judge Newmark?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Kathleen. Yeah.
Yes, this is Kathy Butzlaff from Commission staff. There are sometimes federal loans available, although I would say they're, very rare and hard to get. The commission itself regulates utilities, so we do not have any funds available. But these low interest loans that are being mentioned, it's a DNR program, the Safe Drinking Water Loan Program, and that is where funding is coming from. The DNR uses as a term principal forgiveness, which basically ends up being a grant because the principal does not need to be repaid, it's forgiven. And the estimate for the plant additions in Stanley would be total plant additions of $10.2 million. And approximately 15% of that cost is eligible for principal forgiveness, so it would not need to be repaid and would be basically a grant. It would be $1.5 million of the total that would not need to be repaid.
Okay, great. Would you happen to know the interest rate on those?
Ooh, boy. I do not know if I have that handy.
That's okay.
But as you mentioned, it is a low interest program that the state agencies set the rate every quarter for.
Sure.
I believe the estimate, I just found it at the time. Let's see. 1.32% was the estimate at the time the rate case was filed.
Okay. And
so yes, definitely.
You wouldn't have to know the term
interest.
of the length of that.
They're typically 20-year loans.
20, okay. So it's 20 years at a little over 1%. So that's a pretty good deal. Hopefully, for necessary improvements, that's at least your utility is getting that much of a benefit. Despite the high numbers that we're seeing. Okay, so looking down my list here, it looks like Christina Dahl. Did you want to make a comment? No, not hear anything. Debbie Haas, comment from you?
Yes.
Okay, don't see you here. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, any chance you can get your camera on?
I thought so.
Oh, looks like something's working there, but I don't see you. I don't know if other people do. That's okay. We can just move on. We can continue on without it. But so let me just swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Debbie Haas. I am a business owner in the city of Stanley. So my comment is that as a business owner in town, my projected water bill is to go from $600 every 3 months to $1,400. That's drastic. Quite honestly, I'm not quite sure the small businesses in Stanley can afford that and may actually make it be sustainable, especially with the economy that we're in now. I also know that as a business owner, Stanley is like half rentals. And if Stanley loses all of the people that live in town, where will they go? They'll leave. And then what's Stanley going to do for the water bills? How will they pay for their plant then?
Yeah, it's a good point. Thank you. Dustin, you just joined us, but you're on you're the next on the list at this point. So we're taking public comments here on the Stanley water rate case. Did you have anything you'd like the decision maker to know? Dustin? No. Don't hear anything from you. Okay. Oops. All right, and we'll move on then to okay, we have a Google Pixel 7 Pro, not the Pixel 7a. Just so, Google Pixel 7 Pro. Any comment? Oh, I see you're trying to speak. Hang on, I'm going to unmute you. Great. Did you want to comment?
Yes, I would like to. I'm
All
Lori
right, let me
Foster.
swear you in. Let me swear you in, and we'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Give us your name, please, and comment.
My name is Lori Foster. I'm on the city council, alderperson for 4, 7, and 9 ward.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people in the Stanley of residents and commercial and businesses in Stanley is very concerned with this water rates. There's already been talking in town that people are going to be selling their house and moving out because they cannot afford the water rates the way it is. And with the water rates, with some of the businesses and one, especially a business that are getting a big portion of discount, it's not fair that everybody in the residents have to sit there and pay for it. They use 75% of our city water and they're getting a drastic discount, but the rest of the people, it's a rental property. A lot of people are rental homes and businesses, and the people are not going to be able to afford it. And we're in a low income area and the cost it's going to kill them. And they're looking at moving out. I've heard from a lot of people in the town that they're looking at moving out. And then also with the fire protection, we're using the same amount of water and everything. It's not going to go increase with the fire protection. Why is it going up so much, for the maintenance and, stuff like that? But ethanol, that one plant is getting a discount, but it's not fair for everybody else to, they can't afford it. And it's going to hurt Stanley. There's going to be people moving out and selling. And people who are going to be looking at buying houses, they're not going to, because the water is so high. They're going to move out too. They're not going to look at buying. It's going to hurt Stanley.
I appreciate you giving the comment. I think it's helpful for the decision maker to hear this, so thanks.
You're welcome. I'm just concerned for the people.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let's go to the Pixel 7a. If you wanted to make a comment there. I'm sorry, the Google Pixel 7a. There's 2 Pixel 7a's connected, so far nothing, haven't heard from either one. So we'll just note that for now. How about iPhone 111? Hope you know who you are. iPhone 111, did you want to comment? Okay. And oh, is it?
I was the 7A. I did have a comment.
Okay, hang on. Let me just, yeah, okay. We'll get to you in just a sec. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So, Pixel 7a. Let's get you set up here. All right, and let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your name and your comment, please.
My name is Rosanna Kotecki. I am a homeowner. I've lived in Stanley going on 5 years. I'm a single mom of 3 kids. With these increases, our current bill is between like 225, 250. So it's projected to be 500 to 550. I would not be able to afford that. And I have a very good job. I feel like we live frugal, but in this economy, just it's not doable. And I would be one of those people looking to move out of Stanley. Whether I would be able, as word gets out, I don't know if I'd even be able to sell my house or rent it out, because the cost is just so high, and just feel like it's unacceptable.
Okay. Well, thanks, Roseanne.
Thank you.
All right, so I see Jean's got her hand up. Let's try this. If you do want to make a comment, raise your hand. If you know how to do that. And I usually don't do that because, it may impede people. So there's 2 people with their hands up. Let's see what Jean's got for us here. Are you unmuted?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, hang on just a second. There we
Okay.
go. Okay, excellent. So Jean, there we go. Let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Jean Glidden. I just bought a house this past year in Stanley. I'm a single mom as well. And if I had known what was happening with the water at the time that I had agreed to purchase the prior year, I would not have purchased in Stanley. I live very frugally. I have a good job, but the water increase, I am very cautious in what I use for water. I try not to waste water. I think that putting this all on us at one time, just because of the lack of people not doing their job previously, is not right or fair. And I do agree that if I get the chance to sell, I would try and sell and move someplace cheaper. I just don't understand how you can expect people that do work, that are trying, are paying their bills, but to put this much on them at one time, it's absolutely insane to me to expect that of us in Stanley. So I guess I'm just very frustrated. And like I said, if I would have known, I would have never bought a house in Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jean. Appreciate your comment.
Yep.
Okay, we have Nikki with your hand up. Would you like to comment?
Yes, I would.
All right, great. I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Nicole Witt. I live in 2nd Ward, and we have been homeowners for 15 years in Stanley. And I agree with the comments that have been made that this water increase is crazy. We are a family of 5, and our bill will be going up a lot to where it makes it unaffordable. But I guess I have 2 questions, and I don't know if they can be answered or not. But first part of my question is, how has this oversight been allowed since, I believe it was 2017, you said? Why was this allowed to be an oversight for so many years? And who is responsible for that? And why weren't those increases made in smaller increments? And then part 2 is, it was touched on with Ace Ethanol. They're paying around $9 every 1,000 gallons when homeowners in this town are paying over $14 every 1,000. And I feel like that's when they're using a lot, and I understand that they have wells and they have things that are in place there too, but that is a huge gap for businesses in this town. And I am a part of the chamber and I encourage small businesses to come to Stanley. And I want to see businesses thrive in this town. But that is a large gap between one or two businesses in town paying that small amount versus the residential that are paying over $14 every 1,000 gallons. And that to me is unacceptable. And I just feel like these increments should have been implemented over the course of the years. That just seems like a very irresponsible oversight. And I'm not sure who exactly is responsible for that, but that's insane for homeowners. And like I said, we've lived here for 15 years and I want to raise my kids here, but this is crazy. So I just would like to have those answered if I could.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can see if the utility has any insight into the timing of these projects, and then the rate design in terms of the ethanol plant. I don't know who's best to address that, but if the utility can give us a little bit of background on that, it would be useful for the people who've come to the hearing.
As for the reason for not doing rate increases, I've been here 5 years and I brought it up, I believe, my second year as to why it hasn't been done. Before me, it should have been either on the council or the clerk at that time. And as for ACE, we did request it, but it was put down that they should get a different rate because of their usage reasoning and how much they use.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the timing of the projects, though, that was something. What determined when the projects were needed, or when the utility decided to put them into place?
I would say that would be on the council.
Okay. Anyone else from the utility want to add anything to that?
I guess I can add.
Yeah,
I work with a lot of different municipalities, and the situation is not all that uncommon. Rate increases are never easy, and they're always difficult. It is certainly a little bit easier in smaller chunks, but I think ultimately we've seen in the comments there's a lot of people that want to see improvements in the water quality, and I think doing projects to accomplish that is the way to improve the water quality. So. Ultimately, there's projects that need to be done. We know people need to live. We know businesses need to function. But the utility also needs funding to be able to function, at a level that people are expecting. So that's I guess the reasoning that I could give. As far as the ACE ethanol, we did request to have ACE be included in the industrial classification. Ultimately, with PSC's rules, they determined that ACE has a unique demand profile, and then also they have a significant size difference from a typical industrial user. They're 30 times bigger than what a lot of the other industrial users are. So we've tried to get the rates changed for them, but ultimately that's not allowed by the rules that are set forth.
Okay.
They use 75% of the city water.
Yeah. Thanks. So, so I do have a hand up from the Samsung. Would you like to make a comment? And let me just add, so if you do want to comment, if you could raise your hand, because we do have a very big list here. And in the end, I'll just ask people to do that from now on at this point. But so we do have someone has their hand up. Let me spotlight you there. Great. Okay, so let me swear you in. You want to unmute. I think you may be muted. It's hard to tell. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. So raise your right hand. I'll swear you in. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Give us your name and comment, please.
Yeah, my name is Patrick Kelly. I'm a resident of Stanley for quite a few years now. And Stanley, as far as I've been here, Stanley's always been a community to help each other. Businesses needed help. The town stuck in and helped them out, but we're not going to be able to keep doing that to small businesses if most of our funds has to go paid a water bill that's doubled than we should have already. Most towns around here only do a small increment to offset the prices that are coming up to fix systems. There was a comment that one of the things that needs to be fixed is the communication between different towers. That's not something that's new. That should have been something that was done from day one. It's not something that's going to just happen over time. The system isn't there, so it can't communicate. It's not a new problem.
Okay, well, appreciate your comment. All right, so we have Neil Kemet with ASEF and all.
My
I
wife would like to say
make a
something.
comment as well.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who's that?
My wife.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me get you back up here. Okay, great. So let me swear you in too. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Name and comment, please.
My name is Colette Kelly. I have been a lifelong member of Stanley. I was born and raised. Own a home here. If this water doubles, that's not going to be the case. We will be gone. I will be looking into moving as soon as possible because I can't afford it. None of the smaller or lower income people can afford this. Your small businesses are going to run and people are going to leave. We can't afford this. 90% of us can't afford our groceries, let alone doubling of a water bill. I pay around $300 right now for a water bill for 4 people. That has not changed, even though I have had 8 people move out of my house. My bill has been around $300 the entire time with people moving out left and right. And now we're down to 4 and it's not much better. And now I'm going to have to pay $600 to $800. That's ridiculous. I can't even fix my car right now because I can't afford to, because I have water bills that are expensive. I have groceries I have to provide. Like, people can't do this. 90% of your town is going to be gone.
Not to mention.
And then then what are you going to do?
To mention our mortgage is the same as what you would pay to rent.
Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming.
And I do want to add one more thing, right?
Yeah.
Part of my time in Stanley was in the country. Most of my time was in the country off of well water. I would also like to know why I very distinctly can smell chlorine on certain days. I can tell you exactly what day chlorine gets added to our water because I can smell it. I can also tell you that there are days I smell bleach in our water. And I know that because it's how my dad cleaned the well.
Yeah.
We're in town. Why is there bleach in our water? Why is there chlorine in our water? They tell you not to swallow the pool water because it's got chlorine, but you guys are putting it in our water and wanting us to pay for it. That's poisoning us. My son has half a heart. He has a liver that is failing, and he can't drink water here. I have to provide filtered water from Walmart for that kid, and then the rest of us are SOL.
Well, I thank you for letting us know. I appreciate you telling us. All right, we'll see. Who we got next here is Neil Kemet.
Hello. I'm not able to get my camera working. I'm sorry.
Camera's not working. Okay. All right. So let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear?
Right hand is up.
I'm sorry?
Yes, it's up.
Okay. Yeah. Do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I did submit comments I uploaded some comments to the website and I did put a letter to the editor. So I'll spare reading the entire thing here, and I'm definitely not trying to be tone deaf to what everybody is saying out there. But
You just let people know who you're with.
Oh, with Ace Ethanol in Stanley. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I operate 2 ethanol plants in the state of Wisconsin. There's Ace Ethanol here in Stanley, Wisconsin, and then I also operate Fox River Valley Ethanol in Oshkosh. And I can see firsthand how water costs impact the businesses and the communities. Definitely. Ace Ethanol's water and sewer bill, our new budget is approximately $1.2 million annually, while Fox River Valley, and it's actually a bigger ethanol plant, their budget is less than $200,000 annually. So I'm paying 6 times the amount of water here than I am at my other facility, which is actually bigger. Now that difference is partly because Fox Valley operates on a private well, while Ace relies on city public water system. But it's also important to note that we don't require potable water for our operations. It's probably less than 3% of our water that actually has to be potable. So we're paying for potable water we don't need because it's part of a common municipal system. So, there's a cost disparity here for us too. And then, obviously Ace Ethanol's water usage profile and infrastructure requirements are quite a bit different. Our fire flow needs, our peak demand needs. And then, we have presented to the Public Service Commission before, case 5670 WR 103. So there we went through detailed, it was very expensive for us. We went through a detailed cost of service case, and the rates that the Public Service Commission came with at that time was a dedicated race for Ace Ethanol that was consistent with the law and cost of service principles. So, I'm not happy about it either. There's years we don't make $1 million. There's years we do better. There's years we don't. But we're here, and I'm not about to shift all of my production to the other plant and leave everything here high and dry. Obviously, it doesn't work that way. But no, I don't like it either. In fact, I hate it. But we do need clean drinking water. The facility was quite old, and I know Nicole and the mayor have done everything they can to try to find grants, low interest loans. But no, it's a tough situation, and the water rates are high. I know that Corey with the engineering firm did do a big study and looked at different rate cases. I think Stanley was one of the cheapest, and now it's probably in the middle compared to other communities our size. But yeah, I wish this wasn't gonna, I wish this burden wasn't out there, because it's really hard to explain $1 million just in my business budget variance, much less paying your water bills at home. So yeah, I don't like it either, but I don't think there's much we can do about it at this point.
All right. Well, thanks very much.
Hey, could I ask Corey? Corey Horton? You did a study on water rates. Where does Stanley fare after the increases? I'm just curious. I know what it is compared to my Oshkosh, but I'm just wondering about other communities around here.
Yeah, I haven't looked recently, but in the past, I believe that this would put Stanley close to the median within the state. I don't know if the PSC has any additional information that would provide more detail than that, but rates for surrounding communities are also changing all of the time. So certainly could take a look at that, but I don't really have any good examples on the tip of my tongue right now.
Okay, yeah, thanks for that. So we have Caitlin, you have your hand up. So let me announce, I know we have a couple of new people that joined us. I'm Mike Newmark with the PSC. I'm running the hearings for the commission. And this is the City of Stanley water rate case, as you probably know. But what we're doing is taking public comment at this time. And if you do have a comment, please raise your hand. The little icon there. There's just a lot of people on the list. So hopefully people who know how to do that can do that. Otherwise, I will just give an opportunity at the end for people to just unmute and let me know if they want to comment. But for the moment now, if you could raise your hand. Also, we do have a number of people on the phone who have no hand raised, so we'll have to get to you as well. So what I'm going to do is take Caitlin next, and then I'm not seeing any other hands raised, so then I'm going to invite people who are connected to the phone to unmute and let me know if they have any comments. So at this point, let's go to Caitlin. I'm going to spotlight you and get you started here. So please raise your right hand. Oh, you have to unmute too. Looks like you're unmuted. Huh. There we go. And raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Give us your name and comment, please.
My name is Caitlin Witt. It's on there as Griffin. Anyways, but I am Caitlin Witt. I'm a young mom of 2 kids. I've been a homeowner for about 5 years now. And Stanley has always been the family town. We're all a really tight-knit community, but I have so many concerns for not just myself, but for everybody, because we're all doing our part and, you know, we work hard, but like everybody said in this economy, having our rates doubled, it's just insane. So I do have a couple of questions. First is getting extra outside help to run the plant. I remember hearing that somewhere. So I'm not sure, are we having somebody come in to help run the plant because we don't have anybody who is super knowledgeable? I know we just got, you know, a lot of help that knew what they were doing, got fired and stuff. So we're training a lot of people. So there's that. So are we going to have to pay for extra outside help to run the plant? And also, I understand that our plants all need upgrades, and that's understandable. But, you know, since 2017, there hasn't been any increase or, you know, anything really being done to help make the necessary adjustments to our water plants. So I don't see how all of a sudden we need to do all the things all at one time that in total cost us $10 million. That's insane. So I don't know if there's a way that we could just, you know, gradually over the next 5 years do the adjustments, or even 10 years, but I don't know. I know we need them, but financially we can't afford that. So I don't know. It's very irresponsible to whoever's in charge that we haven't had anything done since 2017. That's almost 10 years. I also did read somewhere that the fire protection rates in other towns are around 15%, and ours would go to 40%. So that's quite significant. But yeah, we're a low income town and we're all doing our part. We have a lot of really great businesses that we all support, and it's just really scary to think about what would happen to this town if this gets approved, because it would not be the same. Everybody would leave, get shut down. There would be really nothing. So hopefully we can resolve this in a way that we can all work together. And so yeah, if I could get that question about getting extra outside help to run the plant, if that's really happening or what's going on there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. If the utility wants to just address that quickly, what's the situation here with outside contractors operating the system at this point?
Currently, we have 2 water operators who are not fully certified. We have one who is fully certified, but he's currently working in wastewater, so he's signing off for the water department. We do have outside firms assisting when needed to help the guys when they don't understand what the pieces are, but it's not like it was before. There is no longer that main contractor engineer. We now have OIC as in on-site.
Okay, in terms of utility employees, direct employees, you said 2 people?
Yes, 2 full-time water operators.
Okay, and that's changed And how has that changed from the past?
They did have engineering firms in helping. There was Ahern as well was assisting. I believe they have 1 week left of their contract and then they're going to be done because they have all the maintenance updated that they needed to until the new plant comes in. And the cost that she's talking about for 10 million, that is basically building a new plant.
Right.
Why it wasn't done previously and upgraded, that I don't know.
Okay. So you'll be getting help when the new plant comes online. Then you'll be getting other assistants, outside contractors to help.
We shouldn't know.
No. Okay. So at the end of that contract, and that's the last for outside operational assistance.
Yep.
Okay. So I know we have B Bother. You have your hand up. I do want to just invite, because I haven't heard anything from them. The people on the phone, just so you know, if you do want to comment, you need to unmute. And to do that on Zoom you need to press *6 on your keypad in order to turn your microphone on. So just want to give you that heads up. I know you can't raise your hand because it doesn't work like that. But if you do want to comment, unmute, and I'll know at least you'll put you in the queue there. So yeah, I see one person did that so far. But let's get the person with their hand up here, be Bother. If you can get your screen on, that would work as well. Is that possible for you? So, can you hear me? Be Bother? It's Boetther. I can take you next if you want to unmute. No?
Hello?
Yeah. Who's that?
This is Don Gadel, Stanley.
Okay. You're on the phone with number ending in 012. Is that you?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, let's take your comment. You can do the same thing. I'll swear you in. So raise your right hand. You swear or affirm
Okay.
the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. Give us your name and comment.
Hi, I'm Don Gadel. I was a current employee for the city for 30 plus years in the water department. We went through the rate increase back in 2017. I was the operator in charge then. At that point, the city switched it over from a tax on the public fire protection from on the tax roll to the water bill, which they were able to do back then. I went to the council meeting last night, and back in 17, one of the big parts of the public fire protection increase was the availability to rapidly produce water. I asked with the central plant upgrade, the new upgrade, are we going to be able to produce any more water than what we can now?
No.
And because that's what set the ISO rating. And my answer was no, we're going to have about the same amount of water. So how can they raise the public fire protection about 140%, according to what I'm looking at here, from 57.73? I got this when I paid my water bill yesterday. It's the water rate increase for 3/4 inch residential meters from 57.73, which it is now, to after step 2 is completed, after the central plant is upgraded, to $138. That's 140%, and we cannot produce any more water.
Okay.
And another comment was with earlier there was comments made with the loan and stuff about the ozone upgrade and the SCADA upgrade at the Northwest plant. I retired about 2 years ago, and that was in the works then. And at that time, the water utility had the money for the ozone and the SCADA. I don't know if I heard wrong that they're trying to get that money recovered in this new loan or what.
Okay.
And my last comment is, like you heard before, and I know Neil just got up. I listened to Neil. he doesn't need potable water out there. That's understandable, but they're one of our biggest users. But with the iron and manganese removed and the water softened, you can darn well bet it's a lot easier on their process equipment.
Okay.
Yep. That's about all I have.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Does the utility want to comment on anything that was brought up there?
Yeah, I guess I'll comment. The rates are set based on the financial position of the utility. It's not like as much as we're looking forward to a few projects, ultimately those rates don't go into effect until those projects have been 100% completed. So a lot of the past the SCADA work and operational expenses, those things are kind of looking at what the utility's true costs are. So that doesn't necessarily say that that fire protection levels have changed significantly. A big part of the fire protection piece is the operational costs have increased a lot over the time since the last increase as well. So, it's not a, this is not a projected, guess at a future project. It's actually looking at kind of the real data that we have, and that's what PSC reviews from a cost perspective.
Okay,
I guess,
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Don again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just another thing, the cost of, definitely of things increases, but when I retired about almost 2 years ago, we had experienced personnel that were qualified and certified, and something or someone forced them down the road. They quit. Anybody with experience, that plant, Northwest plant, you're not going to learn in 3 months. We just spent $177,000 on 3 months. What I saw in the paper from one of the council meetings a while back on 2 companies, one to come in and supposedly help show the new people how to run it, and the other one to do maintenance. Well, if we wouldn't have forced our other workers down the road, this is what I heard from them, that they couldn't take it any longer from management. We wouldn't have had to pay $177,000. We wouldn't be in the predicament we are right now with inexperienced workers. And trust me, the inexperience is going to go on for quite a while with what the water system is here in Stanley. There's a lot to learn. And a comment.
All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for your comment. All right. So I think we had someone had their hand up. Was it B. Bothen, I think, if I'm getting that right. I don't see them. Oh, there we go. B-O-E-T-T-H-E-R. You had your hand up before. I don't see it now. So we'll keep going and we'll see what else happens here. Oh, you're unmuted. No? Okay, so I don't see anyone else with their hands up. Get your hands up here. Okay, so let's see. I can just go through the list quick. If you do want to comment, just unmute and let me know. Okay, we have Nikki. Got your hand up there. Can you get your screen on? There we go. Perfect.
There, I think can you hear me?
Yeah, it's great. Okay, excellent. So let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead. Name and comment, please.
My name is Nikki Bowie. I have lived in Stanley for about 5 years now. Moved away for about a year when I had my first child, but moved back in 2022. When I first lived here in 2020, I thought the water was great. Coming back this time around, I did notice a change in the taste, which obviously kind of bothered me as well as a lot of other people. And also having a newborn child that I did formula feed and then coming to find out that the levels may not have been the safest for a newborn baby was obviously frustrating. And then to pair that with the price increase has been frustrating. I understand that the price increase is a necessary evil. There's no getting away from it. I mean, the cost of everything is going up. Echoing what other people have said, if this could have been done gradually, it wouldn't have hurt so bad. It would probably be the same cost moving forward, but it would have been easier to plan because now, in my case, I'm going to be expected to save an extra $100 a month to put towards this bill every 3 months. My concerns too would be, like others have said, the small businesses, how it's impacting them, how it's impacting our families, which many in the city do live paycheck to paycheck, how this is going to impact them and their futures. I think that the Stanley School District is wonderful. I am going to be very happy to send my children there, but I worry what that's going to look like in the future for the school district, for the grocery stores, for our small businesses. With this price increase, like Debbie was saying, Debbie's on Broadway, great restaurant, great food, but with the cost increase for the water, is she going to have to raise the pricing on her food? Is Reclaim going to have to raise the pricing on their food? Martino's, all of our local businesses, and also our grocery stores. So now, as we've had a couple of people saying, they're single parents, have good jobs, are able to pay it, but now can barely afford to fix our car, barely afford groceries, are the costs of those items also going to go up as a result?
Yes, thanks. I appreciate you raising those concerns.
Also, sorry, Michael, would you be able to
you're
speak
good.
up a little bit? You're kind of hard to hear.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did notice some trouble with this. Make sure I got the right devices connected here. I'll just try speaking up. Is that any better if I just shout a little bit? You should have a pretty good microphone here, but I understand if it's something may be going wrong. All right, looks like we have Erica Sturm next. There you go. I'm going to spotlight you and let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead. Just give us your name and comment.
Yes, I'm Erica Sturman. I just wanted to voice my concern too about the drastic increase. I can understand an increase. And I did try to find comparisons between the Stanley water rates and others. I looked on the Public Service Commission website and made some comparisons. And I did see that the rates haven't changed since 2017, but comparing to other local communities, Cadott, Thorpe, Fall Creek, Elk Mound, and others, that their rates, it looked like, had been changed more recently, going back to 2022, 2023. And none of those rates, they all vary. Some are higher, lower, but none of the rates are drastically higher than what Stanley's are currently. So to have ours go up so much, that just doesn't seem to fit. I can see the need for an increase to improve the water in the city, to update the systems, but to increase so much would put us much higher than any of the surrounding communities. And those communities have more recently had rate increases. So, they're not communities that would be looking at an increase again right away or a big increase. So I don't see, I think it would greatly affect home values. I mean, who would want to come to Stanley, move into Stanley with those high rates when comparatively to other local communities, the rates, if this change comes about, those rates would be much lower.
Okay. Great, well, thanks.
Could I make a comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Thank you for your comment. And I guess I'd like to clarify what I said earlier. I actually found a link that the PSC has to water rates within the state. So there is the Wisconsin water rates dashboard that the PSC has. It's put together by University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So obviously your rates depend on how much water you're using and what classification you are. And looking at that for kind of general residential rates, the utilizing 2,500 gallons per month, the current rates are close to the median for the state. Obviously, if the rates go up as indicated, they will exceed the median amount. So what I said before in looking at the PSC's data, the rates would be higher than the median. So that being said, I guess to get at the question that was raised, a lot of what the rates depend on is kind of the state of the utility and the age of the infrastructure involved. So, with Stanley, we're reaching the age where a lot of, infrastructure investments need to be made. When you're comparing to adjoining communities, they may or may not be at the same point. They may have already completed projects, or they may be a younger system that is just a lot newer and has less maintenance. So, it does certainly affect, affordability and, when you're comparing communities that are right next to each other. But I guess I would, recommend people take a look at that PSC Wisconsin water rates dashboard if they want some more information regarding that.
Yeah, let me just share that on the screen. I do have that for people to check out.
Judge Newmark, this is Kathy. May I add something while you bring that up?
Oh yeah, let me just introduce this to people though, just so you know, the water rate dashboard. I'm just putting that on the screen share for people to play around with. And I don't know if you can see, if I zoom in on the link, you can see that better. In terms of the hyperlink to get to it. But yeah, go ahead, Kathleen.
As you can see, while you're bringing it up, is dated September 1st, 2020. So any water utility that has had a rate increase since then is not included in this data.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. The commission is working with North Carolina to try and get all the data updated, but it has been more challenging than we expected. We had hoped to have it done last year. Now we're shooting for later this year. So that's, somewhat helpful. But yet there have been many water utilities that have had rate increases in the past 5 or so years that are not included in this data.
Okay.
The one that I found on the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin's website had effective dates of, for Elk Mound, it was December 15th, 2025. So if you go to the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin website, you can find the rates there. And like I said, the spreadsheet that I downloaded had effective rates. Elk Mound gave the date of December 15th, 2025.
Okay. Yeah, and all of our, if you do go to our website, all the documents and orders that we've issued in the past at least 10 years will be available for you to look at. But to make comparisons between utilities would be really difficult to just with those orders in front of you. So hopefully this
Could I ask who mentioned that most recent information? Was that the link for the quarterly water bill comparison?
That's Erica. Yeah, go ahead.
I mentioned it, and let me see. I went to, again, wisconsin.gov to the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin quarterly water bill comparison tool. And then I was able to choose a couple of different things. On that, it says it's an e-services portal. And I ran a report and it gave me a spreadsheet.
Judge Newmark, this is Alex Hanna of Commission staff.
Yeah.
It's in the bottom right corner, the water bill comparison. of your screen. It's
Oh,
important to note that this report does not include public fire protection. This report is up to date, but it only includes general service water rates. It does not include public fire protection, whether it's a direct charge or a municipal charge. But this is active.
Okay. So yeah, there's a few variables you need to consider, but hopefully you can get some view of what the different utilities are charging. Okay. So it looks like we have a few people who've already commented that have their hand raised, but before we go back to you guys, just let me see if there's anyone else who hasn't commented who wishes to do so. Still have a bunch of people here who haven't had a chance. So if you want to just unmute, if you're on the phone, you want to push *6 on your keypad. And for others, just raise your hand or unmute if you can't raise your hand. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone else knocking on the door here. So why don't we go back to Caitlin? You had your hand up. Did you want to add
Yes.
something? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
do have a couple questions that I might have missed, and maybe it's documented somewhere. How long, once these increases take effect, will they be indefinite and that's just how they're going to be for however long, or is it going to be for a time period? And my second question is, how old are our current infrastructure systems, and what is their expiration date that they estimate?
Okay. Yeah, if utility wants to address those, I think maybe just adjust your second question to say, do they have any planned improvements going forward that aren't in this case? What's their plans for the future in terms of infrastructure replacements or improvements that they know of at this point? It might be useful to know. Anything from the utility on those?
I don't know of any additional planned projects at this time.
And then just in terms of the rate increases, I mean, we usually don't see rates decrease. It's very rare that happens. But what is it? How do you, when we set rates and we're collecting costs that we're incurring at this time and projecting to incur during the period of time that we're studying, those rates then stay in effect. What would then occur in the future in terms of rate requests or
Yeah, I just asked that question because I know you guys said it's a $10 million project. So at what point do we pay off that $10 million and
then what happens, right?
Right.
Can anyone answer that sort of in a
Well, my plan would be that we would do a simplified rate case every year, like should have been done previously. So that way it gets reviewed every year instead of every 10 years.
Okay, and that's just a piece of things. So I don't know, Corey, you want to explain a little bit about simplified rate cases and what people can expect going forward?
Yeah, and I guess to get back to the, infrastructure investments and, ultimately most of those I would assume are being borrowed for with 20-year loan terms. So ultimately the rates are getting set based on paying back that debt over a period of 20 years. So as much as the project may be complete, immediately, the payment for those projects extends out significantly. So like Nicole mentioned, there's simplified rate cases, and then there's kind of what we're doing right now. So simplified rate cases don't require near as much kind of in-depth review of every single cost of the utility. And those can essentially help the utility keep up with costs of inflation, costs of increases for, operational expenses, things like that. So I think, keeping an eye on those costs, but then, ultimately, if there were any major additional changes in the future as far as projects are concerned, we would have to go through another conventional rate case where we would kind of evaluate everything in the current state. So if we were paying off loans, if we were taking on new debt, all of that would get looked at in detail. And it's my understanding, I guess maybe the PSC can clarify, how many simplified rate cases can occur before a conventional rate case needs to occur? I think is it 3? Kathy has.
Do you want me to address that?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so there's 2 different criteria for these simplified rate increases. And as has been mentioned, it's an inflationary increase that is quick and simple. And utilities do need to meet some basic criteria. One of them is financial. So if they do not show a financial need for it, they do not qualify. But if they meet the financial criteria, utility can implement a simplified rate case annually. For large utilities that have more than 4,000 customers, they are allowed to do it for up to 5 years, and then they need to do the larger conventional rate case again. For utilities with less than 4,000 customers, like Stanley, that utility could file a simplified rate case every year until the increases add up to 40%, as long as it keeps meeting the financial criteria to need that rate increase. So if we're talking inflation long-term is perhaps 3 to 4%, that could mean a utility could do potentially 9 or 10 of these simplified rate increases if it keeps qualifying financially and needs it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And just in terms of rate stabilization as the loans get paid off over the course of 20 years, I think everyone realizes that rates probably won't go down in year 21 because the loan isn't being paid off anymore. What's our typical experience in situations like that?
I would say it's very unusual to do a rate decrease. They do happen occasionally, but I can't think of one in the last 3 or 4 years. Typically, once a loan is paid off for something like this treatment plant project, a utility needs something else. I'm not speaking specifically for Stanley, but it could be old water mains that need to be replaced. It could be a well that needs to be replaced, a water tower that needs to be replaced, a building. So often there's, additional needs in the future.
And costs keep going up too. So yeah, a lot of that
Right.
gets absorbed.
And from the utilities perspective, I'm sure, I don't want to have this come off like we're looking to increase rates unnecessarily year after year after year. As Kathy mentioned, ultimately the financial need has to be there. So if the financial need is there, we want to make sure that we're keeping up with costs. So we're not in the situation that we're in today where we're looking back saying we should have thought about this and we should have implemented it gradually. So that's what I would anticipate that the utility would continue to look for in the future, just to make sure that they're monitoring and keeping up with their finances so we don't have these large spikes in the future.
Okay. All right, thanks. So it looks like we have, I'm sorry, I know you said your name before, but I didn't change your screen name. So your Samsung, you got your hand up there. Did you have something else to add?
Yeah, we've got a couple questions, and one question I've got is we've gotten funding and loans for the previous buildings. Have we even paid those off yet? And we're getting another one? And then we've got a couple other questions.
Okay, why don't you give us your questions and then we can see, we can address
Yep. I'm moving over. Okay, so I just wanted to make one simple comment. Like, I don't understand how we can compare our small town to the Wisconsin median when that puts us against bigger cities with higher incomes. And like, that's just, we don't compare to half of that. I'm confused because I have heard building upgrades and I have heard building a new plant. I would like to know which one it is because that's two conflicting statements. I'm guessing I just got the answer to if the water bill will go down once the 10 million is paid, which is if it's not going to go down, and that's just meh. I didn't hear an answer to Don's question on why the fire thing is going up when they're not using more. And I would like that answered because I agree with him on that question. And I think it deserves an answer.
Yeah, why don't we address that one? I don't know, but the other ones, I think we've reviewed some of that already. But in terms of fire protection, what's the cost driver there? Do we have some specific costs to point out?
So, the cost for fire protection, ultimately there's a lot of infrastructure in the ground to provide, water at the hydrants for the firefighters when they need it. Ultimately, a lot goes into that for providing the infrastructure, but also for operation and maintenance. The utility has to go through and regularly operate each of those hydrants and the valves of those hydrants so they are functional when they're needed. That takes water when they're working through the flushing and operation of those hydrants. There's also a lot of water mains and infrastructure to bring water to those hydrants, in addition to water towers and tanks to provide the pressure and the flow that you need for those systems. So simple things like maintenance, if you have a water tower, those can be $100,000 to $250,000 just to paint one of those. So the operation and maintenance costs is what I would put into a majority of the increase in the fire protection costs that are going up.
Okay, and
I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Nicole.
No, we didn't request a specific amount. That was all based on what you guys gathered for information.
And I guess just to clarify, we get all of the financial data of, past years and projected in the future from the utility. And we break down all of the costs for, the labor for, staff to do that operation and maintenance, the costs for all of the projects to do that operation and maintenance. So it's not a hypothetical guess. This is using the actual data from the water utility that then gets audited by the PSC staff to verify that through all the accounts.
And that increase is just a jump from 2017 costs to current costs?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, no one else got their hand up. Did anyone else wish to comment? Anyone else who hasn't had a chance yet?
I feel like there was a question regarding kind of the projects. I guess, could you restate that question and then we'll do our best to answer it? That was the Samsung.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The last time the price increase was done, we got, Stanley got a loan for that, and that's supposed to get paid back. Has that even been paid back? Or are we just adding to the debt that Stanley's got?
We still have debt.
I'm sorry, you have to repeat that, Nicole.
We still have debt from the old projects.
How much of that debt remains?
I'd have to dig into the finances for it. But I mean, with the quality issues right now and the poor lack of everything, I don't have $10 million to throw at it. I didn't create the plans to do the plant. It is a plant addition, so there's a new building being put up next to the old building and they're being connected. That's what that is. And that's for the central plant, which was built in, don't quote me on this, but I believe the early 70s.
Okay. My worry is that we're gonna need more upgrades, and then the debt's just gonna go up, and so is the price of the water. It's never gonna go back down. If we're already in debt and we're getting more debt, it's just gonna keep accumulating. And then the citizens of Stanley have to pay for it.
Had the water increases been done on an annual basis, it probably would have been paid off sooner, to be completely honest with you.
Well, I know as a resident, as property tax, I get taxed for the school and I get taxed for fire protection. And that's on everything. And then with the water
There's no
bills,
fire protection on the taxes.
It's on the water.
Okay.
So we're gonna build a new building,
Mm-hmm.
but are we gonna make any, updates on the old ones from the 70s? Like, I don't understand why we can't just make updates to the ones that we have currently. Why do we have to build a whole new building?
The 70s building is getting taken down.
Okay.
It did have a 2013 addition put on it. I believe it was 2013. Donnie probably knows better than I do. But that portion is staying and being upgraded as well, and then the new addition is getting connected right to that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. That's good to clarify. Okay, do we have anyone who hasn't commented yet who would wish to make a statement? All right. Well, I really appreciate everyone participating and participating in this dialogue, especially, and providing comments for the decision maker to review. Like I said, decision maker here is the administrator for the Division of Water Utility Regulation and Analysis. It's Andy Galvin. So Andy will be reviewing the record, including the YouTube video of this hearing and the comments that we're going to receive from the public in writing. Like I said, we had 15 on file so far, and we have up until Thursday to file more for people who haven't done so. I'm going to just share our notice of hearing. So there's a link to our website where you can file a comment instantaneously, or there's the address to mail the comment to us. We do need to get it in by Thursday, so I just suggest you use the link if you do want to still comment at this point. But I think at this point, we're going to end the hearing and just we'll present all this information to the decision maker to weigh what's just and reasonable. And once that decision's made, you'll see an order at this website posted, as well as it'll be emailed to the utility. So appreciate everyone for joining. And
I do have one question. Since I know I'm going to get asked, do we have an estimate of how long that takes for the review?
yeah, let's have Alex, maybe, do you have a
Yeah,
estimate for that?
typically it'll take 2 to 3 weeks. The decision maker will review the record, all the public comments, the YouTube recording, and then all of the exhibits as well. So I would estimate usually 2 to 3 weeks, but I can't be certain on that.
Thank you.
There you go.
This
Right,
is
well,
Don. Can you hear me?
Don, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, Nicole, it was the central plant was built in 1970. And I would just another question on the public comment for the web. Is the docket number 5670 WR104?
You got it. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks very much, everyone. We're going to close up now. I appreciate everyone joining in. And like I said, you can continue to comment in writing. So please do so. Thanks very much. And we're adjourned.